Hello, dear ones. How are you all? Are you studying regularly? Children, today we are going to study our 11th lesson, The Vanishing Lunchboxes. This lesson is adapted from The Tiffin Thief written by Vatsala Kaul. We will know more about the author Vatsala. Vatsala Kaul Banerjee, that is her full name, started working with children and writing for children at Target, the iconic children's magazine published through the 1980s to the 90s by the India Today group. She then became editor of the teen magazine Teens Today, after which she worked as commissioning editor with Puffin and editor of a parenting magazine Child before joining Hachette India, the Indian arm of the Hachette UK in 2009. She is now publishing director, children's and reference books at Hachette India. Vatsala's publishing philosophy is to approach children's books across all categories, fiction, non-fiction and reference with the imagination and creativity, and to bring out books that are original, well written, wonderfully illustrated and produced with care and quality. She feels that books must be read by as many readers as possible to make their place and acclaim by the readers themselves. Children, here you can see different types of food items. Which food item looks more appealing and appetizing to you, children? Everybody don't like the same item. Different people have different choices when it comes to food. Sometimes you don't like the food items which your friend like. Am I correct? Now see the theme of our 5th unit, that is food. In this lesson we will study a humorous story, so enjoy the humor. In this story we could see father, mother, son and his classmates. Beginning of the lesson we could see the author's mother had gone to Rampur for what, children? Her sister was sick. To look after her and her family members, his mother had gone there for 1 month. In the absence of his mother, his father taken the charge of the house and their new cook taken the charge of the kitchen. Beginning it was fine, but when his father started to interfere the work of their cook, all the problems started. He had found many faults in her and last she decamped. Here decamp means left one place suddenly or secretly. So the cook left this house. Now the boy had to depend his father for food and father was so happy to show his talents in cooking. Actually, he was not knowing anything about cooking. Another thing was that he won't accept that which one is not a cook. He thought he was the best cook in the world. Then who was suffering here, children? This poor boy. He was gulping down the charred chapatis with runny dal. Children, here what is the meaning of these words charred and runny? Charred means to become burned partially. Runny means extra thin liquid state. So you can imagine what type of food he was eating. Again, his father changed potatoes into stones, onions into charcoal and spinach into mush. Here mush means a thick soft mass. So poor boy, no? This boy was unable to eat all these items. Their waste box filled with food. By seeing this, his father started giving very long lectures to his son about loving, devoted parents, ungrateful children and the importance of food in our life. Children, come to the next page. Because of avoiding food, sound came from his stomach. Now he couldn't imagine his lunch break. All his friends would see his lunch. Usually he brought delicious food items because his mother was a good cook. That everybody knew. Now what he will do, children? Every day on the way to school, he would open his lunch box and everything he would put it in the garbage bin. Now we will go to 5th B class. See, class 5th B in a row because all are angry because lunch boxes had been vanishing from the school bags of students regularly. Moreover, the funny thing was that the next day the lunch boxes reappeared with tasty snacks filled inside. None of the students had been able to make out the mystery behind these thefts. The class monitor Jadin Kochar had been called a meeting and everyone in class expressed concern about the entire situation. They had unanimously decided that they had to solve this problem. They don't like to tell this problem to any grown-up persons because they wanted to solve this case in their own. Again, they were discussing about this theft. Someone had told maybe more than one person included in this theft. Others told it was a disease. That means a person's disease. And the other said because of the hunger maybe. That is correct, no? All laughed. But last, the class monitor, Jadin, decided that every one of them would have to keep a watch in class whenever it was empty. All of them would have to take turns in doing that. That time, our narrator showed some discomfort. Jadin noticed that and then he asked the narrator to keep a watch that week. Anyway, he agreed to do that duty. The next day, the narrator was in his duty. Then also Preeti's lunch box with spicy potatoes and chapatis vanished, disappeared. Preeti was so angry. She will be angry, no? She will get angry, no? Preeti accused the narrator of being a useless watchman. She also said that she would have suspected him of stealing her lunch had his mother not been a great cook. Children, since Preeti would have been right in suspecting him, the narrator smiled evilly. Evilly means in an evil way. She deliberately forgot her lunch box afterwards because she expected the thief would take it away and return it filled with tasty tidbits. Yes, following day, her lunch box reappeared with a bar of chocolate in it. See the expression of Preeti. The next day, Sanjay Shekri's lunchbox had parathas stuffed with grated cauliflower and tangy mango pickles vanished only to be returned filled with toffees. Following that, Vaijayanti's lunch of upma with chutney was eaten up and she was compensated with mint chocolates. On the final day, Anjali Alexander's cheese sandwiches disappeared, for which she received a fruit bar in return. So all these 4 days whose lunch boxes vanished, next day they got very tasty sweet items. From the 5th day the theft stopped and so did the appearance of the stolen lunch boxes filled with snacks. What is the reason, children? The narrator's mother had come back. So who was the thief? Yes, the narrator. He had filled in the lunch boxes of the students with tasty tidbits because he wanted to compensate them. Since the speaker's father gave him burned food for lunch every day, he was unable to eat them and was forced to steal tasty food from his classmates. By returning the lunch boxes with tasty tidbits, the speaker wanted to thank his classmates for all the tasty food he had eaten from their lunch boxes. Did you understand, children? Yes. When the narrator's mother returned home, she felt very sorry for her son as he had to endure his father's unpalatable cooking. She was very angry, children, when she learned about the cook's disloyalty. She also turned yellow when she tasted the food cooked by her husband. See, children, she became yellow. She became extra affectionate towards her son and cooked his favorite dishes. Also, she convinced her husband to take a break from his kitchen duties and concentrate on his office work. Now, next page, see the next page, children. The arrival of his mother meant his father would no longer prepare his lunch. He wouldn't have to undergo the unpleasant, uneatable food prepared by his father. The lunch boxes prepared by his father made him feel miserable every day. In order to avoid the food cooked by the father, he had to resort to stealing the lunch of his classmates. Now, years passed and later he became a freelance artist. Here, what's the meaning of freelance, children? Freelance means a person who does pieces of work for different organizations rather than working full time for one organization. Different organization, the person who works, that is known as a freelance work. Once his wife had to go Cochin on a business trip. Then he had to prepare food for his 10-year-old son. He learned how to cook. He prepared his son's lunch. What all things, children? Vegetable burger sprinkled with the same seeds and homemade potato chips. He proudly says that unlike his father, he learned how to cook as he did not want his son to be a lunchbox thief like him. If he steal, his classmates would say he learned it from his from his father. What a shame it would be. So children, the narrator did not reveal that he was the tiffin thief from the beginning. Correct, no? Beginning of the story, we were not knowing who was the thief. Why? Because that would impact the element of mystery surrounding the thefts as well as the humor involved in the ultimate revelation. This revelation comes towards the end of the story and comes with its share of humor. The revelation was expected by the reader, but the way the stopping of the thefts coincide with the arrival of the speaker's mother makes the audience enjoy and appreciate the humor in the text even more. Hello children, this lesson is a humorous account of what the narrator had done as a child after being subject to the unpalatable food prepared by his father. Since he did not want to eat the food prepared by his father, he emptied its contents in a garbage bin on his way to school. On one hand, we may feel sorry for the poor child, but on the other hand, we cannot ignore how he wastes food by throwing them into the garbage bin. Is it correct, children? Yes, we know that we should not waste any food. Children, what will you do if you see someone wasting food? My dear children, food, no matter how it looks or tastes, should never be thrown away if it is not rotten. Do not waste food and water and do not let anybody do it. Okay, children, did you understand this lesson? Read it many times. Write all the notes and study. Okay, thank you, children.